Station, Dr. Richard Salome. Doc, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, Umaru.
Which areas did the GMA go to, and what's your own assessment of what you saw?
Thank you, and greetings to your listeners. The Ghana Medical Association has had members on the ground since we noted the disaster. However, yesterday we mobilized a team of about 22 people, collaborating with the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association and a clinical psychologist who also volunteered for the 37 military hospital and have gone on the ground since yesterday. Today, they have mounted about 6 different teams. They divided themselves into 6 different teams and have been at the 6 different shelters, and they are offering health education as well as screening and then treatment of some of the people who are suffering various effects from the flooding. On the ground, we have noted that the common things that are being found are people who have malaria, as well as some skin diseases and then respiratory conditions. Obviously, we know the place is crowded. Most of these shelters are housing quite a lot of people at a go, and then people are in close contact. There's still some challenge with water, even though the situation has improved. And then these are things that are coming up. Of course, we have also noticed that there are a few people beginning to now show signs of diarrheal diseases, and about 2 people have also now been found with showing signs of schistosomiasis, or what we normally refer to as bilharzia. So that is what the people our people on the ground have found and have reported just this evening. There are some at the Overbank community and are yet to come back and give us the report. Basically, that's what we found on the ground.
Did your team deploy to only the so-called safe havens, or you also went to the communities that have been affected, by which communities have their residents still living there? How was the approach?
So as I mentioned, there was a team that even went to an Overbank community where they will have to go across the river to a place that has been affected and cut off. So the approach is to first settle in and go to where people are affected most in this and in what is going on. We are collaborating with the district authorities and then the health facilities that are there. And what we are doing is that we are assessing the situation and deploying as needed. Currently, the worst affected places, as we know, is the Mepe area, then parts of the Togome, Vume, and then Aveime area, as well as Bato, some parts of Bato now that are beginning to flood, and parts of Sogakope area. So the team is mobilizing and moving as per the needs and the assessments that are done on the ground.
So are you doing the assessment before you go and provide any medical care if need be, or you are doing the two together?
So it's an ongoing thing. The team moves into the community, starts all the safe havens that have been provided, starts with educating the people, telling them about how to deal with various things, minimize contamination, showing them hand washing practices and good sanitary practices, and then sets up camp to listen to those who have certain complaints and some conditions that they are worried about. So basically, that is what is being done. Of course, we are also liaising with the district authorities who are also receiving information from the ground. The NADMO people are there, the office of the MP, as well as others who are collaborating with us to give relevant information, and community actors too. And then we move into assist.
The issue of malaria could have been prevented, but now that some people are having that, it means that it has to be treated. What approach do you advise be adopted? Because some of the places we went to, the people didn't have mosquito nets, but others had mosquito coils and all of that. What's your advice in continuing the preventive measures while we also talk about dealing with those who already have malaria?
Well, so what the main worry, actually, which can blow out of proportion currently, is the waterborne diseases, the diarrheal diseases. Worried especially about cholera and then the typhoid fevers, and then other types of diarrheal diseases. For malaria, the risk is this because one, many are being housed in schools with windows that are without the window nets. And then mosquito nets, the district authorities are making and the regional authorities are making efforts to share mosquito nets, but of course, it's still being scaled up and it's yet to be adequate. And then there's pools of water within which mosquitoes can quickly replicate and then also wreak havoc. So as much as we can do, you prevent what you can prevent, but the people are being advised to stay there. The people are mobilizing and bringing in things. I'm aware the regional chair has reported that VRA has also brought some logistics, NADMO has brought some logistics. They are still mobilizing nets from elsewhere to bring in. Our concern, again, is the breakout of diarrheal diseases, and that can be a big problem because it can quickly spread. And then also because of the crowding, the respiratory tract infections. So key is some of the protocols that we highlighted during the COVID. That has to do with good hand washing practices, telling the people, advising them not to touch things, making sure there's good and available potable water, as well as sanitary facilities. The toilet facilities in some of these places do not match the numbers that are there, but people are mobilizing. We've heard some people are trying to mobilize and bring in mobile toilets, and this is very much welcome. It's a collaborative effort, and we believe that anybody who is willing to assist with anything at all should be able to bring them in. And with this, we'll be able to minimize the risk of having some of these conditions that will affect them. Let me hasten to add one thing quickly, that the risk of diarrheal disease is not limited to only the affected areas. Remember, the water is not stopping. It's flowing downstream, carrying the various debris, contaminated substances, and sending them downstream. And so those downstream from these areas, all the way down to the estuary, should also be very careful. Those who still take water from these places, wash in the rivers, and have cuts on their bodies, should be very careful in doing this at this point.
I see. The issue of the mobile toilets, if you deploy mobile toilets to areas like that, the issue of emptying it becomes a problem. How do you navigate around that difficulty? Because then they may end up, resorting to open defecation, which has its own consequences.
Well, so rather than leave them without any, and then the collaboration of the district authorities and then the environmental teams that are there, we believe that they can easily manage this better than leaving them to go out and openly defecate well to the water. And remember, yesterday it was even raining heavily in these areas again, and this would have also carried some of this away. So it's a fine balance. There's no golden bullet that we can shoot and kill any of this, but it's better than providing these people with these sanitary areas to be able to eat themselves comfortably and in a safe way, than leaving them to use facilities that are for barely 20 people or so, and you now have about 1,000 people or 700 people lodged in such an environment, and that will not be the best.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you so much, Umaru. We want to use this opportunity to say we are grateful to the Member of Parliament of the area for hosting the volunteers and also providing some accommodation and feeding to them. And we also continue to salute our colleagues who continue to volunteer. We appeal to everybody to make the effort to come and help. This is Ghanaians who have been affected, and we'll do our best to serve them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. When you say Member of Parliament for the area, I'm presuming you mean Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. Is that the constituency?
Yes. Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us. That's Dr. Richard Salome. He's the Acting General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association.